Many of us as gardeners think of Aucuba as one of those fairly dull plants that grows in full shade. Sometimes it has variegated leaves, but generally it's one of those sort of windbreak plants which is fairly dull, has its uses at the edge of the gardens, maybe, but there is one exception, and I'm standing underneath it, and it is actually a tree. And this is Aucuba omeiensis, which comes from Mount Omei in China and was first discovered by Roy Lancaster in 1980 on one of his plant hunting expeditions to China. And he collected the berries from this Aucuba, which was then unknown in Western Europe. Since then, other people have collected it in China, and it's now available in cultivation and is sold through the Burncoose Nursery's website. But the difference between the Aucubas we know, which are shrubby, and this Aucuba omeiensis is considerable, because this is actually a small tree. It's probably nearly 20 feet high, and actually it is a record tree in the UK. And we can see it's got 2 or 3 stems, but that doesn't really, I mean, it's far too big to be called a shrub, that's for sure. And how much bigger it'll go, I'm afraid we don't really know, but I see no reason why it shouldn't grow up to 40 feet, looking at how vigorous it is. But there's one problem. And when we look closely at these actually fairly attractive flowers, it's soon obvious that all the flowers are the same, and that this tree produces no berries. And the reason for that is that all Aucubas are dioecious, so you have separate male and female plants, and if you want to get your berries, you've got to grow the two somewhere in close proximity so that the wind or insects can cross-pollinate the two, and then you'll get berries. We need to find a female and plant her alongside this particular plant, because otherwise we're never going to see any large red berries. We have actually propagated a few other plants of this, and we're growing them probably within 100 yards of where we're standing now, but until this tree started flowering, we had no idea whether or not it was a male or a female. And so what we've been propagating are all males, and we need to find another source. And Tom Hudson at Tregrain has kindly agreed to give us a female plant, so then in the years to come we'll have berries as well as this rather attractive flowering tree.